today is a special day. In this box, a while back, well, months ago now, when I moved into this dojo, I wanted to do something special, something unique that I hadn't done before. And so I ordered a box. I ordered a box from Spain, and today we're gonna open it. So what is it? What did I order? Well, if you've been following the channel for a while, then you know that I don't use colored belts in our dojo. I decided a long time ago to go to an all-white belt system. Part of that, you still need to keep track of rank a bit. The way I decided to do that was a very traditional way to use Nafuda, the nameplate. In this box is a Nafudakake, a nameplate board. The original one that I did, I built. I bought some wood, I hung some hooks, and then I made the Nafuda and I drilled holes and I would just hang them off of that. But in the new space, I wanted something different. That was the last dojo. I wanted to do something different, and I had been looking for a kamidana. The kamidana, the shrine that you'd have at the front of the dojo, the shomen of the dojo. And I ran into a place called Daikukai. Daikukai is a company based out of Spain, and it's ran by someone named Helder and Almudena, who use traditional joinery techniques. They do kind of a mixture of modern, where they're using modern tools to do traditional joinery and creating just beautiful, beautiful things. I was looking at the kamidana and I found that they had a Nafuda, especially since they've just recently done an ebonized version of these, where the wood is darkened because of the tannins reacting to the chemicals. This location has a it's not a natural wood kind of place. It's got a lot of things in the aesthetic that are darker wood or black. And I thought that it would be really great to do something like this. Really excited to kind of show you what's happening here. And to also have that show a much better contrast with the Nafuda themselves sitting inside of this. And so inside this box is hours of work done by incredible people who have made just beautiful, beautiful products for dojos and meditation spaces and homes and all of these things. And I'm really excited to put one up in my space. So it takes some time. I mean, COVID hit, that changed a lot of things, but that's also how we ended up in our new space. And so that also changed up some shipping times on getting this here, which is natural. And I'm really excited to have this arriving now. And honestly, I've had it for a little bit and I've wanted to make this video because I wanted to share the experience, because I didn't know what I was getting. I could see the pictures, I could see the product, I could see the quality. They've got amazing videos of how to build the things, how they build them, how they go through their processes, just absolutely wonderful things that they're doing. And so I wanted to be able to share my experience through video of what this looks like, and maybe even what it looks like to put it together. They've got a great video on how to put it together, but I thought I would share my experience of doing that as well with you. So inside of this box was another box, very neatly packaged. And as you can see, what we have are all of our individual boards and things to make this, because one of the really, really neat things about this is that you don't screw it together. You don't use nails or anything like that. What you do is use traditional joinery to bring things together as they're meant to be brought together, where everything is very thoughtfully laid out to where things go together because they go together, not because they're forced together with fasteners. So I'm really excited to put this together. And I do a little bit of woodworking myself. It's a thing that I want to do more of. And so this is also special to me because this kind of joinery is just special. It's amazing when you see it done well. And that is what this is. This is wonderful. And what we have are all the individual pieces, the pieces that will make up the Nafudakake. And some of these, and I think this is so cool, some of these, as you can see, are tied together. So on the inside, they form these beautiful little knots. And that's how they're joined. So the wood itself fits perfectly and then the knots keep it in place. And I just think that that is so cool. And the grain, the way the wood ebonized, the way that it reacted to that is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now these are the Nafuda. The Nafuda are the small boards, the name plates. So the student's name goes on here. And the way the Nafudakake works is each rank has a place. So there's a plate, a Nafuda for each rank. And then for the student that is that rank, their name lines up next to it. So when they're promoted, it moves to the next rank. And that's how that progression happens. And I think that's just really cool. And I have some ideas on the way that I'm gonna lay it out in this space to continue with the philosophy that I have when it comes to this. The assembly, like we looked at before, all the pieces that we have are inside here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get everything pulled out of the box, so I can get rid of the box, get it out of the way, and then start looking at the assembly itself. Since there are no fasteners, this actually should go fairly quickly. So what we have first are the actual horizontal pieces. So these pieces are going to spread across. So this will be the width of the Nafuda. Sorry, the width of the Nafudakake. After which, what we have is the actual vertical pieces that will actually mount together. You can kind of see here where the actual hanging points are. I actually kind of like how they did it. So they do have a screw fastener in there, but it's mostly just to be able to make that a replaceable part. Truth is, I already filmed this once, but the camera had stopped filming and I didn't realize it. So these were wrapped in paper, but these are the only metal fasteners that came in the box, which is some wall anchors and basically your hanging fasteners. So set those aside, and then we've got wooden pins. The wooden pins just to hold everything in place, and I like that they all use natural wood for all of the joinery. These we'll go ahead and set aside right away. These will make up the back of the Nafudakake, and so they'll be one of the last pieces to put together. So we'll just get those out of the way for now. And then of course, the Nafuda themselves. The thing about this is make sure that you order enough. Because when you go to put this together, when you're counting, it's going to be really easy to just count the number of students or instructors that you need Nafuda for. But don't forget that you need one of these for each of the ranks themselves. So all of your Q ranks, all of your Dan ranks, or whatever your system uses. In my case, you can see I ordered quite a few because we're going to actually have two different ranking systems on there that both have at least 10 ranks, one of them having more. And so that number needs to be in addition to the number of students that you have. And then you should probably order some extra, because hopefully you'll have new students at some point. So lots of these. And that's it. So we'll just get the box right away. Okay, so let's look at getting these together. So the one thing about Daikukai is that they have done some excellent, absolutely excellent videos on how to assemble these. And I remember watching them when I put in the order. Thankfully, I remember what that looked like. Otherwise, I have to go look at it right now. But we start by laying these out. Now, each one of them has numbers and letters to kind of identify where they go in the assembly. And what you're going to notice is you're going to have ones that have flat sides and grooved sides that have been routed out. And then you've got some that are grooved on both sides. Obviously the ones that are grooved on both sides go in the middle, flat sides go top and bottom. So I've got one here. Now these units, what you'll see is that you've got two of this shape here and only one of this shape, and that's because this is the one for the middle, these are the ones for the outsides. They are numbered, so here I've got 1 through 4, and on this side I've got 5 through 8, so these will be over here. This one should say 5 through 8, which it does, and it will go over here. Nice snug fit joinery, which is awesome, absolutely fantastic. And also I can't get over the smell because it just smells wonderful. Wood left natural and used with really natural finishes, not heavy oil-based or sealing-based finishes, has just a great smell to it, and so it's just really, really enjoyable. So now I've got X's and O's, which means this goes just like this. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and pop these off of here. And you can see that I actually have to kind of pop them, and that's because the fit is so good. I love that. I love that. So I'm just going to lay that on its side. Next, we have these, which are beautifully tied together. So nice flat panels, but they're tied together. So there is a rougher side with knots on the back, and then you have the side that has the nice square ties. And so that'll be the side that goes forward. Remember that you're looking at the back of the unit, so we take this way. There are 2 notches here. You'll see these 2 notches. The front notch, the notch closest to the desk in this case, is for the Nafuda, and the back is for the backing board. Nope. Keep you right. Perfect joinery. One of the things that I love about this is that because it is natural wood and they incorporate the concept of wabi-sabi, and you have these idea of these elements that are modern, these elements that are worn, and in here we've got things like the knots in the wood that are left. It's natural, it's a natural part of it, so it should be a part of the unit. And now once this is in, now I can do the other side, and I will do the other side in a minute, but I will just show the fact that these pins just drop into the hole. So there's holes in both this vertical piece, sorry, there's holes in both this horizontal piece, there's holes in the vertical piece. So the pins actually just drop in, snug fit to connect these together. Now, I did this in half just so that I could move it over just because of this amount of space that I'm working with. So I'll go ahead and just slide this down so I can get those other pieces in. We seal everything together by attaching this final piece. Everything so satisfyingly, snugly fits together. It's just, I love that. All right, because these pins have a very snug fit, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of scrap wood, set that on here, and then just tap softly. And that way it goes down, but I'm not actually hitting. Problems with hammers and things like that, you could use them and you could use a rubber mallet. Spreading it out over a large surface means that I'm not going to apply any force that might break that, but I'm also not gonna ding this or anything like that. And there we have it. Nafudakake is done. That's all it takes. Very, very simple. It took longer to do this while filming than it would to just make it. And here we go, the big reveal. This is absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to put it on the wall. So that's what we're doing next. These pieces are slotted, so you don't have to find a special tool or anything like that. You can do the whole like drill, like hook trick or eyelet trick, but you can just take a flathead screwdriver and set that into the slot and use that in order to pull this in. Really like that, that's super handy. And there we go. It's actually just gonna be, they're just right. So that just sets in. We actually set them just a little bit apart from each other so they actually have some cross tension to keep them in place. But that's it, mounted to the wall. And I'm gonna grab some Nafuda and at least talk a little bit about how the Nafuda slide into place on here. So now that all that is left is to actually put the Nafuda in. Now, maybe in a separate video, I'll look at how you actually print to these. You could paint on them, you could write on them with a Sharpie, you could do a number of different things. But we're actually gonna do the same method they use, which is a transfer medium, like a Mod Podge kind of deal, and transfer that stuff on there, but I'm gonna do that a different day. Right now, we're just looking at how these actually work. So you've got grooves on the inside, on the bottom, and on the top. The inside on the top is higher, it's deeper, so you can set this up into that slot, and then it drops into the slot below, and now it actually locks into place. So this can set over, and that is how these set in. So you get kind of a sense of how these look once they're all in place like that. And you can have a variety of them. It'll fill up over time. They'll each have their own character. Very cool. This is absolutely beautiful. The finish and the quality of the workmanship, the time and energy put into this. Could you build one? Totally, and I encourage you to do so. And if nothing else, to learn how. But if you don't want to, or if you have the opportunity to experience how awesome the quality is from Daikukai and the way they put this together, it's just fantastic. Really enjoy it. It's gonna be a key piece on the inside of our dojo, and we're very excited to have it.